This is Black Views, bringing you the Black News. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. FBA all day, Freedman, Black commentary. And when I say FBA all day, I mean FBA all day. Like Patrick Ewing in the paint. Moving people up out of there with elbows, doing whatever we got to do to make it to the next level. So today, without further ado, I bring you another talent from New Black Media, Tariq Nasheed. Of course, you all know who Tariq Nasheed is. I really should not have to introduce him. And let me tell you what I like about Tariq Nasheed. I've been following Tariq Nasheed for a very long time. And I have to say, before they were podcasts, Tariq was putting out literature here. He wrote books. And, as a young man, I have to say, sometimes I felt like I grew up with him, parallel to him, because of his books and materials that he had put out that, that were educational. One being how to be a man and how to, maneuver your way around different situations when dealing with women. And then, all the Hidden Color series. Oh, I really enjoyed those. And I think he spent a lifetime trying to educate us and bring us to breast with what is going on around the world. And I mean, now when we look and we see what is going on, when we deal with tethers and we deal with all these different, he brings light to certain things that a lot of people I feel that are afraid. Whole reason why we have the new black media is because the old black media refuses to inform the people. A couple days ago, I brought to you Professor Black True. Once again, people that take time out of their day to create materials, educational materials to teach black people and black communities. And the thing about Tariq Nasheed I like is because a lot of things I can relate to, growing up in, around black people, growing up in Washington, D.C. and being different things. A lot of things he say is real true. Like when you think about, when you have people that pick on people and things like that, that's not glorified in our culture. Those type of things. He talks about a lot of things that we all can relate to, and that's the wonderful thing about being a foundational Black American. There's no leader as far as foundational Black American. It's a lineage. That lineage ties into our experiences. What we experience every day is pretty much what makes us alike, right? We're not going to agree on everything. But there are certain things that we know when we go out in the public and we have to deal with different groups and we have to deal with different type of entities that do not mean as well. We're used to this. We've been there, we've done that, and that's what brings us together as people, our experiences. Okay, a lot of things, information was passed down to us by our grandparents. We were told about these things, and that's why we're able to bring them forth about our lineage and about what's going on in our lives. So without further ado, let's get to it.
But see, here's the thing about the case, and I'm gonna get some calls in a minute, family, because I see a lot of folks coming in. Here's the thing about this case, because we're looking at it from a bigger picture perspective, especially a lot of us who are activists, because aside from the emotional attachment or lack thereof, we look at the big picture of how this is going to relate to Black and white relationships as a whole. That's how we look at it, and we look at the ramifications of it. We always look at it from that perspective. What precedent will this set? So there's several things that's going to make this thing backfire on the white supremacists. Are the white supremacists?
Once again, I want to say fair use. I want to also give props to Tariq Nasheed, and thank you for the material that he has allowed us to use today.
In here, I know you in here, and I want y'all to listen. because this is kind of going to backfire on you. You're looking at this as a big win. Oh yes, oh he's a hero. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm pretty sure that he's the Trump administration. They're going to be parading him around and all this stuff. So they look at this guy as some kind of hero, but this is going to backfire, just like the Rittenhouse thing. The Rittenhouse effect, it actually backfired a few times. They paraded this guy around as a hero and said, hey, this guy went in ambush, shot people, and yeah, he was defending himself and whoop, 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 which he wasn't. He went out there looking for trouble, and many people believe it was premeditated. So they sat up here and let him fake it in court. They sat here bending over backwards for Rittenhouse. He's up there fake crying and acting a damn fool, and they let him off. And y'all know what happened immediately after that. There were several other mass shootings from these teenagers around his same age. Just immediately after they acquitted him, there were.
So look what's going on already. Already you see there's videos of people on subways where I saw a black dude, and what he was saying out his mouth was, you see that old lady over there, man, what you gonna do that? And he just starts smacking up on this man. So when you start doing things like this and people see that this is unjust, people are going to make concessions now, because you have people out there that are going to say, oh, okay, well, shit, it will. If he could just choke somebody out on the train, then guess what? I mean, if I think somebody is doing something, I'm going to do it too. And they're going to refer back to this. And guess who is going to blow back on? Because guarantee you, if Jordan Neely was on the train and that train was going through the black community, okay, he would have did that, and black people would have looked at him like, yeah, all right, whatever. But they would have been on guard. It doesn't mean not be on guard or not be alert to the confusion that may be going on, but definitely they're not going to jump on his back and choke him out. If that were to happen, there would be someone in the community that would say quick, all right, he good, man, he good. We see it all the time. But this guy, oh, he's a special dude. Even when you look in this guy in his eyes, man, you see how he's a special guy. Let's move further.
Few just back-to-back mass shootings. There was one in Texas and a few other places, and these shootings targeting white people. These suspected white supremacists were going out shooting other white people, and many people were calling it the Rittenhouse effect, because now the message was, hey, if you want to take your anger out and just start shooting people, that ain't so bad. You can be a hero. So some of these dumbass meth-infused Mayo kids were like, hey, well, shit, I got a gun. The kids at school, they call me fat and dumb, so hell, let me go bust on them.
And guess what they do? They go right to their skill. They go right to their school and shoot other white children. They don't venture down to the hood. They don't know. They don't get in deep. They stay on the outskirt, or they're gonna go somewhere where it's mixed group of people, and they'll just pick out the black people. And this is why, when I do these videos, I always say, when you go outside of your community as a black person, especially as a black man or a black woman, it doesn't matter. Be careful, because they're looking for a confrontation. Social media has demonized the way of life for black people, that they think every black person they see is that person that they saw on social media that was acting up, or that person that they saw that was showing a bad representation of themselves. Remember this: every group has its rift. Every group have its raft. So there's no excuse to say, well, this is how black people act, because it's furthest from the truth. We just don't have $1 trillion media mega microphone that 24 hours a day just says that these people are bad. These people are doing, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. And then you know what they're talking about? Like when they talk about Chicago, they talk about Old Block, just that little area. It's not even like a big area. It's just a little area that they focus on, and they talk about shootings, killings, but all day long in little newspapers, you hear about shootings and killings that these people do, the mass group of people, and you know who they are. They look like this guy right here, Danielle Penny. All day long, they're shooting and killing each other. And you know what else they're doing? I showed you a report yesterday. They're shooting, killing us, and doing acts of racial activity against us. It's just not on CNN. It's just not on Fox. It's not on the television. It's in the newspapers. You have to look in the newspapers to find these articles about things that are happening, or find the local news that's talking about a racial thing that's happening. But all day long, ABC, CBS, Fox, and now all the 20 million different cable channels that's demonizing black people all day. And if you really pay close attention, the white supremacists are trying to lump us all in together. Okay, they're trying to lump us all in. Like, you see, you have these guys that come here from different Caribbean nations or different or African nations. They come in, they cosplay as us, and they play as us. And many times when you see these crimes and you look at the names, you're like, those are not foundational black Americans. But it's going to be told that a black man or a black woman has done the crime, and now you see that we're just getting sucked into things that we don't belong in. But let's move on.
Let me be like Kyle. So it circles back and bites their community on the ass. So let's look at this situation, how it's going to backfire. There's a few ways this is going to backfire. See, number one, this is going to give us an increased awareness of systematic injustice. This is going to make us, as a black community, say, okay, we were right all along. This whole thing about racism being over, no, it's not. This is more reinforcement that racism is still alive. They're lynching people.
The only, I think, young people right now that may think that racism used to be and now isn't is probably a lot of millenniums, but they are learning too. Because as we have more influx of tethers and other immigrants that come in, they're learning from them. They're learning and they're seeing the difference. And they're starting to see, because they always show you, okay, you know what I'm saying? If you're a black man or a woman, foundational black American in this country, all you have to do is live long enough to experience the culture. And no one has to get in your face. You see it everywhere. Okay, no one has to chase you down the street. White supremacists will try to say, "Well, there's no white man coming to your neighborhood stabbing you." No, there's not. But there's white people that control who gets hired. There's white people who control who gets opportunities. There's white people that control who does this job, who does that job. And there's white people control who gets in, who gets out. So no, you're right. They're not in your neighborhood practicing violence. They found a different way to do it, and they do it with laws, policies, to set the conditions where you live. So guess what? It's just like in your house. If you have a stressful household where everyone is pissed off all the time because of whatever is going on, what does that cause? All right. So think about communities are like that, where there's no jobs, there's no opportunities, there's no way for you. But you can see immigrants, people that are not from here, come into your community, set up shop, sell to you. And this is how white supremacy works. And so when you see these attorneys that sit here and, yeah, see, this is a landmark case for them. This is all about the money. You see, they don't care about Daniel Penny. You know what I'm saying? And that because at the same time, they're all part of white supremacy. They're supporting that. Like, look at the black guy. He don't know how to take this shit. He just like, hey, I'm just, I guess I just get paid. Like, I don't, I really, I'm not going to really say anything. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just, that's typically what you see today in black politics. The people actually, he could be a decent brother, but guess what? When you look at when you look at the optics here, that's exactly how a black politician is. He's not going to say anything. He may not even like what he sees or hears, but he's not going to say anything. Why? Because he's getting paid pretty good. And guess what? I got to take care of my family, man. I got to. And so you get a whole lot of people like that are in position that's supposed to warn the masses. There's supposed to be somebody tonight that's supposed to be on national television, black person, having a conversation, talking about what's happening right here. But no, that's no more. That's not. I want you to understand, think about the whole Democratic Party. They had nothing to say about this. Ain't nothing going on. They preached the whole thing about Trump and how racist he was, and how what's gonna happen when he becomes president. But guess who's president now? And they allowed this to happen, and it's going on. It goes to show you that the Democrats are probably 10 times racist than the Republicans. Let's go.
And this is going to amplify discussions about racial bias in the justice system. This is going to bring more attention to systematic inequality. All right. This is going to mobilize more coalitions advocating for social and legal justice reform. And it's going to lead to consequences, going to undermine systematic white supremacy agendas. You see? The second reason this thing is going to backfire is this is going to it's going to erode more trust in the institutions. Now, we don't trust the institutions. We already don't trust them. This validates our distrust for these institutions. Black folks, y'all know we don't be trusting nothing. We don't trust the police. We damn sure don't trust hospitals. Most of these.
And so think about what he's saying. We don't trust nothing. I mean, think about what happened here. Just think about if you were related to Daniel Penny. Now, you don't have to be his mother or his father. You could be his cousin. You could have been somebody that grew up with him. You could have been somebody that watched him go through what went through mentally to become what he was. And guess what? You're looking at this whole situation and you're saying, shit, this is all corrupt. Like, this is not right. This is not justice. So in the back of black people's mind, when they get pulled over by a police officer, now I want you to understand, you have black people some people that's not doing period, that's not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay? And then when they get arrested, then they'll bring up racism. They'll say, you racist cop. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about actual racism. You should be an adult and know the difference between what is and what isn't. You should be an adult and know the difference between what's bullshit and what's not bullshit. Not try to merge the line and just say, oh, black people just complaining about, look at this guy here. No, this is why the country will never grow, because you have foreigners that continue to come into this country and just call themselves white. If they can pass, they will say they're white. That's why being white is an ideal. It's not a lineage. It's an ideal. It's a religion. This is something that they choose to be so that they can conquer. And it would be something if we had that same ideology, but we don't. We have tethers that come here that do what they can to get close and they want to lay right beside the leg of the alabaster, just like this guy here. Like, I mean, you don't know. He could be FBA or he could be Caribbean. You see what I'm saying? And he looking at it like, hey, it's none of my business, man. But they pay good, and I just have to follow That's what I'm saying, bro. And that's a defeatist mentality, and this is what we get a lot of from these Caribbean nations. And I'm not trying to say every Caribbean or every African is a tether, because that's not true. It's not true. They are not all tethers, but there's some that participate in the white supremacy, and they are just a face. They cosplayers. They're a face of color. See what I'm saying? A face of color. So when these groups decide to do whatever racism activity they want to do, they're going to say, hey, well, there was black people there. There was a black guy standing right beside me. I mean, he was smiling too. Everything's good. This is what we do. And he's not from the lineage. He's not from the mountains of North Carolina. He's not from Natural Bridge, Virginia. He's not from Washington, D.C. You see what I'm saying? These people are from somewhere over there that's different from here, and they're happy to be here and grateful that they're not living in the shanty towns from where they've come from. So you have to understand, this only makes sense. I mean, you can't expect him to act any other way. He doesn't want to lose his his salary, nice salary that he's getting for putting his foot in other black people's ass that he's not even from here. So he's saying like, shit, I didn't tell him to go out there and be drunk. He was drunk, so hey, this what happened. See, it's not about justice. It's not about that.
these incidents because they've wronged us for so long, and we have a very healthy distrust in the system. When you lose faith in the system, these systems start to erode. So we have a greater mistrust for the legal system. You understand? And this is going to make people more politically engaged and more desirous to go inside the system and change that system from within. This is going to help create more people who say, well, I'm going to get in this system and I'm going to get in here and I'm going to change these policies. This ain't working. So this is going to energize a lot of us who's going to stand on the business of justice. The third thing, and this is very important, family, this gives us even more distrust for the damn Democrats. Family, I want y'all to understand something. This happened under the Democrats. This happened in a Democratic city, Democrat state, a Democrat presidency. We're still under a Democratic presidency right now. Kamala and Biden, they're still in the White House. You understand? So people told us, oh, when the Republicans get in office, oh no, what about your asses in office right now when this kind of stuff is happening?
Had a whole campaign, scare tactic about what's going to happen with Trump. This is why foundational black Americans, it doesn't matter who's president. We have endured the worst of the worst. They can take away whatever groups, whatever programs. We ain't got shit. And we ain't shit been for us. So whatever they take away won't hurt us. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter if we vote Republican or if we vote Democrats. But what we have to vote for is the situation at the time. So if you look and see what Trump's going on with Trump, right? Right now he's talking about, hey, we're gonna get, we're gonna get these foreigners out of here. We're gonna get these people out of here that are illegal. We're gonna get them out of here. We're gonna stop all this bullshit that's going to these other groups. Oh, that benefits us. Although Trump pretty much say and do racist shit, and the people that support him, they're racist. But guess what? When you get all these foreigners out here that just doing nothing for you, that don't care about you, that's going to work every day, working for $10 when that's a $20 job. You see what I'm saying? That now they have to train somebody for. They have to do what they're supposed to do. Train somebody. Put these jobs in high school level. So when they leave high school, remember they used to have construction in high school? They used to have automotive in high school. I remember going through high school when they first had computers. They had all that in high school. So wherever you went to next, you had some basic knowledge and understanding. If you didn't go, even if you didn't go to college, you had basic knowledge and understanding. And guess what? If kids don't want to do it, cool, that's cool. But it should be available. And money should be put into programs, so that anytime, it don't matter how old they are, people should be able to get training. Just like how we know it can happen? Because you did it for them. See, that's where you fuck up at. Listen to what I'm saying. This is where the Democrats fuck up at. Because they do shit for other people and we sit here and we watch. Cause see, all the Democrats are foreigners anyway. Those are people that's letting other foreigners in, and I guess that's what they supposed to do. That's their mentality. Yeah, letting Jorge get in, he gonna let in Yoseli. You see what I'm saying? And then once they get in the door, they're going to latch on. They're going to make rules and regulations so they can keep more coming in. And that's what the Democratic Party has become. I think that until we bring our voting bloc hardcore together, we're not going to have any politicians, any black politicians, that's really going to ride for foundational black Americans. And because we could hold him accountable, put some money in it. And you know what? This one politician that's going to vouch for us because we pay him with our support and so forth. Maybe he can get in the cabinet. You see what I'm saying? Maybe he can get in an opportunity or somewhere in Congress where boom, we get one guy like that. We can get two guys like that. Maybe we can get three. You see, that's how it starts. Because we have to reboot. It's no way that we can work in the current system that we're in. It's already riddled with flunkies, liars, cheats, and steals. Why do you think it's so much corruption? because they see the game. The same game that we see, they see too. They be like, "Oh, America's some bullshit." Like, guess what? You see what they doing over there? Hey, we're gonna take $1 million and put it over here. Haha, we gonna do it. See, that's what I'm saying. There's no integrity in the way that America operates, so you can't expect these other groups to behave because they see how you doing us. And so guess what? They come here and they just say, "Hey, we white too." Haha. And guess what? Illegal aliens. You know how many illegal aliens are quote unquote white in this country? We're just not talking about them right now. But it's coming. And I hope Trump says, "Hey, uh, I hope he monetizes this operation of mass deportation." There are a couple of states right now that have gone in and decided they were going to put in legislation that will support that type of thing. And when January 20th come and they say, "Hey, we have a monetization for bounty hunting service to point out the location of the undocumented," man, I'm on it. And I'm not going to feel bad because nobody feels bad for us. It's no reason why any foundational black American needs to have or feel sorry for other people that don't care about you, because they're going to keep throwing dirt on us. It's like I said, someone, think about the snake, the whole snake thing. It doesn't matter how nice you are to certain animals out in the wild. They don't care about whether if you're nice, if you're smiling and you have a good attitude and you dress nice today. They are going to eat your ass, bro, because that is their nature. Their nature is to destroy you, devour you, and eat you to their satisfaction. They know that you're weak. They know that you can't move around. What's that? 1 Peter 5:8? Yeah. They're lying like a lion. They will pounce on you, looking for someone to devour because you're not in your right mind. Let's move on.
And truth be told, I think this was the Democrats telling Black Americans this was their FU on their way out the door. This was their FU on their way out the door. Alvin Bragg's out there was like, well, justice was served, and hey, man, we just got to deal with it. That the black, what is he, the DA out there? His big old chipmunk face ass. And then Eric Adams was like calling him a hero, calling Penny a hero. So yeah, that Democrat machine, they all gave us a big FU because I guess they're mad at us for making them crash and burn. Okay. So this is going to be their FU to us because we made them lose badly. And they've been doing little passive aggressive stuff. Y'all saw Biden on his way out the door. He's tooting his wrinkled Geritol ass up at us. He's like, yeah, I'm going to give some money to the Hispanics. I'm going to give some money over to Africa. I mean, he's giving money to everybody but us. He's rubbing it.
You remember what Biden did? He gave money to Africa for slavery and said that he was sorry to Africa from America. Sorry to Africa for what happened to slavery and gave them several $billions. And I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but I know it was in the billions. And none of those billions went to any schools that black people go to. Reparations alone should be like what, 20, 60 trillion? There's really no number you could put on that. But guess what though? You do know where black people live. You know what zip code, you know what area code, you know right down all the streets, you know what off of what main streets they live on. Those are areas you need to be pushing money into, just like you did with those immigrants that came here. You setting up towns and houses for them. Nah. Overnight areas should change. Because after we kick them out, that money, overnight areas should change. Foundational black Americans have seen something. They have seen people come in and immediately be thrusted over top of them. And I'm going to go on because I don't want to stay too long.
In our faces. All right. Okay. Okay. And another thing about this case, family, have y'all seen the tethers? There's been a lot of tethers sitting up here co-signing Daniel Penny, sitting up here saying he's a hero too. Have y'all seen these tethers on here? I've retweeted a couple of them. The
Okay, so I'm not gonna go too much into that. We'll go ahead and let that one. This is a very outstanding video here. Was a Penny Acquittal a middle finger to Black America from the Democrats? You know, and this goes on for about another 45, another 53 minutes. This is a great, outstanding video, and I just want to bring a little bit to you. I wanted to give a reaction to it, and I wanted to inform the people. But you know, I was on Twitter, and I saw something interesting on Twitter, and it's Daniel Penny, right? Yeah. Let's see what he says over here. He was talking about here's Jane Kurt, even like women. You know what I'm saying? Uh, breaking Daniel Penny. I'm sorry, breaking news or breaking. Daniel Penny is a free man. God is good. You see how these people think? You see how this man killed a man in cold blood, but they're so angry at us. They're angry at us through the Democratic Party. That's how crazy they are. And remember, I told you, you know, by having $1 billion media megaphone, you know, this is what it spawns. People are mad, crazy mad. They don't even know black people. They just mad at black people, and they're mad at the dude that got on the subway. That was, I mean, frail body and shape and everything. Okay, let's go. Let's listen to this.
Manhattan, so I take the subway multiple times a day. In this instance, I was coming from school. I got out of class around 2:15, and I took the I was at J Street Metro Tech, took the Uptown F train. At Second Avenue, a man came on, stumbled on. He appeared to be on drugs. The doors closed, and
Damn it!
he
I'm
ripped
sorry.
his jacket off
Yeah,
and threw it at the people sitting down to my left.
So he came in. He took his jacket off, and he threw it down on the people to his left. And this a whole Marine, right? He felt this enacted some type of Marine consciousness in his mind to yeah, I'm gonna have to get down and busy now. I'm gonna have to take care of business. I'm gonna have to show it like it is and listen to it.
I was listening to music at the time, and he was yelling, so I took my headphones out to hear what
He was listening to music.
he was yelling. And the three main threats that he repeated over and over was, I'm going to kill you, I'm prepared to go to jail for life, and I'm willing to die. You know, this was a
That first part right there, I'm gonna kill you. Who the hell is he talking to? So guess what? Any sound-minded person would think he's saying, I'm gonna kill you. He's not looking at nobody in particular. He threw his jacket around. I'm thinking, man, these people be out of their mind. And they'll be saying anything on the train. I took the train every day. Okay? Every day in Washington, D.C. Every day, pretty much. I ain't, yeah, all of my life. I worked all of my life. So going straight downtown, you know, you get on the green line, the blue line. I mean, you know, man, get on the red line. I mean, it's the blue line especially. You know, but it is some crazy people that's on that joint. We already know it's crazy people out there. What we supposed to do? We supposed to just watch out. We're not supposed to jump on this guy's back who's I mean, let's just go. Let's want to hear more of this.
scary situation. And Mr. Nearly came on. He was threatening. I'm 6'2", and he was taller than me. So it was, and there's a common misconception that Marines don't get scared. We're actually taught one of our core values is courage.
He's such a bastard. He said that's what I'm gonna tell you. I am a combat action, former Marine. You know what I'm saying? I was stationed aboard USS Tripoli. I was stationed with I ain't even gonna tell you what battalion. You don't need to know all that stuff. But I was on the USS Tripoli, and I deployed. I deployed into combat. Now I'm thinking about this for a second. He says that his Marine Corps. This is where his Marine Corps training kicked in. He didn't see a weapon. He just heard This guy, and when you look at, because he was on fentanyl, right? That's what they saying. He had fentanyl in his system. He had all this, and when you look at his body type, he said he was 6'2". I'm gonna tell you, these people are devils, man. Let's go. I have to. I hate to say it. I ain't gonna say these people. I'm gonna say he is a devil and shit, because anybody that makes remarks like that, like, oh my God, he was so scared. But he's a Marine, right? Okay.
And courage is not the absence of fear, but how you handle fear. And,
Listen to him.
I was scared for myself, but I looked around, I saw women and
Did he just not say how you handle fear? Okay. I wasn't colonel in the Marine Corps. I was a corporal in the Marine Corps. Did he just not say this is how he talks about how he's handling fear? I'm gonna tell you, as a Marine, to this Marine right here, like, dude, you are a shitbird, bro. I can see this no snap and pop in your game at all. You know how to do a chokehold on that guy.
children. He was yelling in their faces, saying these threats. I couldn't just sit still. Some people say that I was holding on to Mr. Neely for 15 minutes. This is not true. I mean, between stops is only a couple minutes. So the whole interaction lasted less than 5 minutes. Some people say I was trying to choke him to death, which is also not true.
So let's think about it. He was keeping time while he was doing choking. So some people say. So people were timing it, right? Well, were you timing it? It's all bullshit, and what he was fed to say so he could say to us. And these people out here, they just went with it. This was the right time for him to do this. Timing.
True. I was trying to restrain him. You can see in the video there's a clear rise and fall of his chest, indicating that he's breathing. I'm
And he just
trying
died.
to restrain him from him being able to carry out the threats.
Oh,
And then some people say that this was about race, which is absolutely ridiculous.
that's ridiculous.
I didn't see a black man threatening passengers. I saw a man threatening passengers, a lot of whom were people of color.
Oh,
A man who helped restrain Mr. Neely was a person of color.
see, that people of color
A few
shit.
days after the incident, I read in the papers that a woman of color came out and called me a hero. I don't believe that I'm a hero, but she was one of those people that I was trying to protect. We were all
Wow.
scared. Mr. Neely was
Wow.
yelling in these passengers' faces, and they looked terrified. The reason why there was no video at the start of the altercation was because people were too afraid getting away from him, and the videos didn't start until they saw that situation was under control. I knew I had to act.
And he died.
I acted in a way that would
It was under
protect the
control.
other passengers.
Let's
protect
stop right here
myself,
for a second.
and protect Mr. Neely. I used this whole
Let's stop right here for a second. You heard him say the cameras came out when he was under control. Okay, so he was under control. He was still alive. So so suddenly he just died. He wants you to believe that because of the fentanyl he was using, and then he restrained him. The way he restrained him, oh, that's why he died. See, that's same thing. You notice it's the same story they used for George Floyd. The same story, even though this man's sitting there with a knee on his neck, they want us to believe that he just died just because he was on fentanyl, but not a knee on his neck. People are bastards, bro. I'm telling you, man. Let's go.
to restrain him, and I did this by leaving my hand on top of his head to control his body. You can see in the video there's a clear rise and fall of his chest, indicating that he was still breathing. And I'm calibrating my grip based on the force that he's exerting. And
He's calibrating.
I was trying to keep him on the ground.
Look, he's even calibrating his grip. So that means so what he's saying is that he's adjusting, even when he's doing. I'm adjusting to it. So that means you weren't choking. You were not choking him. You just had your arm around him, and he died. You see, this all sounds crazy. It all sounds crazy. Let's go.
Until the police came, I was praying that the police would come and take this situation over. I didn't want to be put in that situation, but I couldn't just sit still and let him carry out.
Let me explain something to you, right? This is an individual that's not under control. He doesn't know how to use force in a controlled environment. And that's what I said. Like in high stress situations, he cannot be the police. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like he cannot, based on what he's saying, he doesn't know the difference between lethal force and force to detain or force to stop a situation. He doesn't have any understanding of that. He's telling me as a Marine. First of all, in the Marine Corps, they teach you all these moves. You have, well, when I went in the Marine Corps, we had line training, right? And then you had jiu-jitsu. So, okay, now I think they do a little more MMA. So, because they have belts and stuff like that, that go along with their training. But I do know in special operations, you could be trained to make those kind of moves. But on the average Marine, if he does hand-to-hand combat, he trying to do whatever he can do to survive. I tell you the truth. But this guy here was not in combat. He was not in an environment where, I mean, I don't know. And then, what really kills me is after you have him in that move, you say you fear your life, then two more people come. And at that time, you didn't find another way to remove this guy or get from under him or get into a position of control. Two other people came. Jordan Neely was still alive. And you telling me he couldn't reposition or recalibrate, in his own words, as he say, to be in a more dominant situation. It's all fugazi. And this is the type of guy that he got a nose ring and everything. Listen, I'm gonna leave it like it is. But guess what though? We're just gonna watch and see what happens. That's all I can say. Watch and see what happens. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's look down here and see what else we got. Daniel Penny's a free man, not guilty. Oh, they loving it, man. Look at this. Oh man, what happened here? Did they go to his school and everything? Yeah, like I don't even know. I think that's the high school. I don't even know what that has to do. Oh, is that Daniel Penny? Okay, that's him when he used to, VMP. I'm sorry, VMP. And this is photo by Corporal. Remember, this is all like pulley stuff when he was a recruit. And maybe he wanted to be a Marine. He probably wanted it, but I don't think he could cut it, bro. There's no way you gonna tell me that you out here just choking people on the subway. You don't have enough character in you to subdue yourself, brother. To have control of rage. That's what they teach you in the Marine Corps. One of the things I'll never forget they taught me was that in one hand, I could hold a newborn baby. And while I'm in the other hand, I can destroy madness and have chaos. This is how Marines are trained. This is how you're trained. You're trained to, at one hand, be able to hold a newborn baby, protect his skull, protect his head, hold him close to your body, and in the other hand, be able to create mayhem and destroy. And that's how we were trained. So this guy sitting here saying that, I just got on back and I couldn't get in. Listen, he didn't see Jordan Neely as a person. He didn't see Jordan Neely as another American citizen. He thought that he had the right to do that he could do that. That's all that was. And that's on an individual basis. Because we all know that is bull. So let's see what okay, that's 31 seconds. Let me see where I'm at right now. I'm on 43 minutes. Oh my God.
Breaking news. The jury has reached a unanimous verdict in the case of Daniel Penny. He's been found not guilty on the charge of criminally negligent homicide. Now, remember what was at stake here. The jury could not agree on manslaughter. They failed to agree twice. The judge gave them another bite at the apple on this lesser charge, negligent. They now say not guilty. Breaking news.
There you go. I mean, that's great. And that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying to you young black people. This is what I'm saying to you. Sometimes you got to stay out those situations, man. You cannot put yourself in a situation where basically you're depending on the goodness of another person. You cannot put yourself in a situation and hope that, the police officer who's white, he's going to help. I mean, you can't. Even though I'm not, and I'm saying there are excellent white police officers. There are excellent white people out here. But you cannot trust the fact that that is one that you're dealing with. I'm pretty sure there are people that can look at Daniel Penny and say, you know what? He's a good, clean cut guy. You know, he looks like a nice guy. But Daniel Penny will take your life. He will take you off the planet Earth. And he has shown that he is capable of doing that. He will have no compassion. He will have no heel in him. He will have no humility in him to be able to know the difference between you joking around or you horse playing or you trying to get a laugh out of something or no. He's going to take the opportunity to take your life. You could be joking with a friend. You could be on the subway with your friend, talk about what you're going to do, whatever, and this guy here will just overhear your conversation and take your life. So I'm going to leave it at that. This is Black Views, bringing you the Black News. Please like, please subscribe. Also, please hit that Cash App. I also want to give thanks out to all those that have supported me. And until next time, FBA all day, be one.